When thinking about titles for this video, I kept wanting to title the thumbnail something like, "You don't matter, and neither do I." I know, right? Photo Mode Reviews is going emo mode on us. But my thinking for this title was to comment on how little we mean in a universe so expansive. The more I thought about it though, the more I realized that this title missed the point on a literal and emotional level. We are, quite literally, matter. Our bodies are made up of millions of elements of matter through the millennia. And even more so, I think what the Outer Wilds is trying to teach us is that we do, in fact, matter. Even in our small corners of the galaxy, our individual experiences matter because we make it so. So, yeah, you matter, and so do I. Let's talk about Outer Wilds. In the midst of a month filled with terrible gaming news, from studio closures to EA possibly putting advertisements in games,
we estimate we can sell up to 80%.
I'm reminded of a simpler time. A time when there was nothing to worry about but me, my ship, and the 22 minutes of pure existential dread of the sun collapsing on me. Outer Wilds might be the best game I've ever played. In fact, you know what? Let's just make it official. It is the best game I have ever played. Mobius Digital, I will be sending you an honorary plaque very soon. Okay, jokes aside, Outer Wilds is truly one of the most inventive and intelligent games ever made. While some games have come in the orbit of what this game is like, nothing is quite like it. I've been thinking a lot about Outer Wilds lately, because I think it has something to teach us in terms of our placement in the universe, and perhaps our lack of importance. I recently had the opportunity to film an artist who is close to the end of his life due to health reasons. His name is Ramsay, and he's an incredibly talented artist who deals a lot with found objects. During the interview, he had this to say.
So what I'm trying to say here is that we're part of something much greater and much larger, and it's not about us, and it's not really even about the Earth. We're part of a multiple universe, a gigantic force, and when you look up at the night sky and you realize you're looking at stars that are light years away, and planets and galaxies that you cannot even see with the naked eye. You realize that you're made up of these small particles, and actually the whole Earth really began from dust and explosions and energy and light and force, and what is minute and small, way beyond what we can see, emulates what is out in a much greater space. And I don't see this as a rationale to not take care of the place where we live, but more of a reason to take care of the place we live, because you only get one.
I found his words profound, familiar, and motivating. And he puts things into perspective. Yes, this universe is massive and beyond our tiny footprints, but that's all the more reason to cherish what we have, what we've built, learned, and created. I think the fact that we're surrounded by such mass means our tiny selves are all the more important to take care of and love on, because the rest of the universe is totally indifferent to us. Hearing his words made me think of the kind of feeling I had when I finished Outer Wilds for the first time. If you haven't played the game, then spoilers ahead. The ending of Outer Wilds is a pretty wild ride, and it starts with you reaching what is known as the Eye of the Universe, some kind of singularity where time isn't what it seems. This is also presumably what has been causing the 22-minute loop you've been exploring, so it's kind of like a black hole as it sucks you in. You then end up inside the museum where you first unlocked the ability to loop time. Here, you then see what looks to be a small universe on the table. Your only action is to observe, which then pulls you way out, like way out. You zoom outside of your position and past a vast array of other universes. Not just universes, but exploding stars like the one that you've experienced countless times before. Notice too that you're still in your suit. This isn't a cutscene. You, the player, are traveling outside of time and space. Then you regain limited autonomy and you can move around what seems to be empty space with some distant suns. Then, a familiar sight. A forest resembling your home planet of Timberhearth. Inside this endless forest are exploding universes. Endless and vast. And here you are, outside of perceivable time, seeing all of these loops you and others have lived. Then slowly the emptiness of space becomes pure darkness. All that you can do is use your signal amplifier. You hear breathing, and you stumble upon a traveler. Or is this just you? Then you're able to create a campfire and are invited to roast a marshmallow. This leads to the grand finale of the game. Slowly, all of the friends that you've met along the way appear around the campfire. To get more of these friends, you must follow their signal. This all culminates in one final music ensemble and an explosion. Perhaps this is you dying, or perhaps you, the player, are the catalyst for the next universe being born. There are no clear answers in Outer Wilds, only interpretation and the experience of the player. The only indication we get of some kind of ending is this image you see after the credits in what looks to be a brand new universe billions of years later. I think the narrative in Outer Wilds is so unique because it's all driven by discovery. No quest log, no cinematics, no characters blatantly telling you the story. The history of the Nomai, the origins of the time loop, the echoes of the eye, all of it has to be discovered by you. There are still things I stumble upon that I've never seen before when I revisit. Now, I want to briefly touch on the DLC too. This game is a puzzle box within a puzzle box, and the more you investigate, the more it rewards. I love how they added this DLC and gave no clear answer as to how to access it, really. It has a very From Software kind of feeling to it. They just added it in, and it's up to you to find out. Be warned, I'm going to be showing you the opening to the DLC, and trust me, if you have not played it, you do not want to have this spoiled because it is hands down one of the most immaculate moments in gaming. So to find this DLC, you have to look over a set of satellite images that show you some kind of anomaly with a camera sensor. After you fly out and investigate the camera, you discover what seems to be a hole in space. A black nothingness. Upon approaching it, you enter a secret hangar bay. You land, and you proceed to enter the DLC space. Now, there's a common phrase used among gamers called the coming out of the vault moment. This originates from Fallout 3, where the player is greeted to an immaculate view of the world that they are about to uncover. A lot of games have moments like this now. I think some of the best are Elden Ring and the latest Legend of Zelda games, which have you opening up to this wider world. But no exaggeration, Outer Wilds has the best of these moments. It is so good, I don't even really need to say anything. Just watch this. I mean, come on, the mind-bending physics, the fact that you were inside of some kind of secret structure that you can still see out into space, the roller coaster ride that is this river rapid, and most of all, the music. Now, this is the last thing I want to talk about. The music in Outer Wilds just transcends music to me. It's a feeling, a texture, a memory of moments. There's no video game score that even comes close to what this game achieves on a storytelling and emotional level. There is an entire video that can be done over the music, but I have no theory background, so I'm not going to go into that. What I can do is compliment how well implemented it is. From the first sunrise at Timber Hearth, to the lonely floating in space, to the absolutely explosive pieces that play in the big moments at the end, this music does things to my soul that I cannot describe. I feel free, scared, joyful, all at the same time. The composer, Andrew Pralo, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, created an absolute magnum opus with this composition, and I'm not alone in this. Just go look at how many listens these songs have on Spotify compared to other video games, and you'll see that this music hits different. Music also has massive narrative implications in Outer Wilds. As we discussed above, the ending of the game is literally all about creating a final harmony. I think music acts as the underbelly of this universe. It's ever present, literally. Anytime you pull out your signal amplifier, you can hear pieces of the ensemble being played all across the solar system. You can find friends playing their tunes. In the end, it's friendship and the music you create through those bonds that shape a new universe. This is a powerful sentiment and one that resonates deeply with my sense of self and purpose. I often see people grow up and lose the connections of their youth and become totally alone. We are already so lonely in this massive galaxy that holding on to the little things, the people, that's what matters. Now, I'm going to quote Loki here for a second because Loki is possibly my all-time favorite character. It's not about where, when, or why. It's about who. Now, am I just inserting Loki quotes because I'm a diehard? Yes, but also because I really think it's relevant. The only thing that matters in the end of your journey in the Outer Wilds is the who, the people you met along the way. And this applies to life too. Someday the where, when, and why of all your life's actions will cease to be anything, but who you befriended, who you touched, who you changed is what remains. Even when my greatest friends and family are gone, I'll carry forward the lessons of who they were. Now you might be asking, whoa, is photo mode reviews okay? Did a loved one die? Should we be worried? Fear not. For as deep and heartfelt as all that got, everything is good in photo mode land. And you'll notice that there's not really been a lot of talk about photo modes. Well, that's because there isn't one. Heck, there isn't even a way to turn off the reticle in the HUD. This is of course a real bummer and something I wish to this day Mobius would add. So hey, Mobius Digital, if you are watching, I will personally come to the studio and advise on some awesome photo mode features if you'd like. But photo mode or not, I just had to talk about this game, and it felt more relevant than ever. That's all, and hey, please comment if you want to talk some Outer Wilds. I love talking to people about this game, so let me know what you loved about it. I appreciate anyone who sticks around to the end, so until next time, see ya.